After receiving critical acclaim for his first Netflix series, The Haunting of Hill House, writer-director Mike has returned with another revisionist ghost story for the streamer, this time taking up the work of Henry James. So before we dive into the story, hit the subscribe button and press the bell icon. The Haunting of Bly Manor is primarily based on The Turn of the Screw, with other James work frequently referenced, but the ending of the series is rather different to that of the 1898 novella. To properly explain the ending of Bly Manor, it is probably best to start with the penultimate episode, which explores the origin of the manor itself and how it came to be so haunted. This episode is actually based on another Henry James short story, The Romance of Certain Old Clothes, which follows two sisters, Perdita and Viola, who falls in love with the same man, Arthur Lloyd, who must choose between them. In the short story, Lloyd chose Perdita, causing Viola to become extremely jealous. But when Perdita falls ill, Lloyd and Viola develops a friendship, and Perdita makes her husband promise to lock away her guns in the chest for their daughter, scared that he will marry Viola after she dies. Perdita's predictions come true, and Viola and Lloyd do marry. And when financial misfortune befalls them, Viola convinces her husband to give her the key of the chest containing the gowns. She goes to open them, and when Lloyd goes to find her, later he finds the chest open and Viola dead, killed at the hands of Perdita's ghost. A slightly modified story takes place in the episode 8 of the show, although the name of Perdita's and Viola are switched. It is explained that after Viola had died, in the Bly Manor version, she is suffocated by Perdita. She awakens to find that she is now a ghost, and after a time she realizes she is in the chest, but finds solace in the fact that one day her daughter will open it to retrieve the gowns. Of course, when it is actually Perdita who opens the chest, she is furious and kills her, exacting revenge. Her ex-husband and daughter then set out to leave Bly, on the way chucking the chest and Viola with it into the lake on the property. This absolute abandonment shattered Viola's heart. She remained at the bottom of the lake and became Lady of the Lake, waking every day and walking back to her bed, thinking it was all a dream and hoping that she had one day find her infant daughter and husband once again. Years pass and she continues making the same journey, in process killing more people. Eventually, Viola's memories fade and so does her face. But she continues making the same journey. And one day, when she finds a child in the bed, she assumes it is her own and carries him away, killing him. All those that she would have killed faded just like her, but continued to wander the property, explaining many of the specters seen around Bly. It came to be that everyone who died at Bly, including Peter Quint, Rebecca Jessel, and Hannah Gross, entered the same purgatory as Viola. As the narrator says, no hopes for anyone with the sad misfortune to die on the ground of Bly. This then takes us back to the main action of the final episode, and Danny Clayton, who seems certain to be the next person to suffer the same fate as so many to wander Bly after she wanders into the path of Viola. Viola drags Danny into the house, but when Flora protects, she seems to be reminded of her own daughter and lets Danny go, instead picking up Flora and carrying her back to the lake. Henry Wingrave arrives at Bly and tries to tip Viola, but his attempts are no use and he is strangled almost to death. Owen and Jamie then also arrive and are told by Hannah's ghost to head to the lake, but on their way, they find Henry's body and Owen successfully revives him. Meanwhile at the lake, Danny utters the word, "It's you, it's me, it's us," something which she had felt in her bones that she had to say, and which prompts Viola to turn back with Flora and walks toward Danny instead. By saying these words, Danny is invited Viola into herself, breaking all spells over Bly and releasing all the ghosts. Everyone then leaves Bly forever. Miles and Flora go with Henry, and Danny and Jamie decide to go start a new life with each other in the US. But Danny can still feel Viola's spirit inside, ready to take over at any moment, and so they agree to take it one day at a time. Years pass and Danny seems fine, happily living her life with Jamie. But eventually she begins to feel Viola's spirit within her again. One day, they meet Owens, who is now working as a chef in the US, and who tells them that the children didn't remember any of the events from Bly. Danny begins to become increasingly controlled by Viola, seeing her in her reflection and claiming it's harder and harder to see me. Eventually, she finds herself almost strangling Jamie in her sleep and so leaves, knowing that she can't risk staying with her another day. Jamie then travels back to Bly, where she finds Danny's body at the bottom of the lake. Danny is now the lady of the lake rather than Viola, and so no one will ever be taken by the spirit of Bly again. Even as Danny's memories and face fade, she will only wander Bly harmlessly, leaving the only trace of who she once was in the memory of the woman who loved her most. At this point, it became clear that the narrator has been Jamie all along, and it is suggested that she is telling the story at the night before Flora's wedding, with Miles, Owen, and Henry all in attendance. Thank you very much for watching this video. If you like it, hit the like button, and for more such content like this, subscribe to our channel.